Hello, good evening. I'm not audible. Yeah, talk to you. Hello. This is still working. Good evening. Hello. Please, can you mute your mic, please? Okay.
575.
Well, actually, all right, let me do that for you. Okay. So, no, sure, let me admit. Okay. Good day, everyone. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me? Hello. Please, am I audible?
Yes. We can hear.
All right, that's good. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Internal Medicine Interest Group of Nigeria (IMGN) webinar on medical research. I am Amir Yahaya, the head of the IMGN research unit, and I will be the anchor for today's event. Myself and the whole IMGN would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone for joining us today. So I think we'll like to wait for maybe 5 minutes or so to allow more people to join. But while we wait, I would like to call on IMGN's president to give us an opening remark and tell us about IMGN. So please, Henry, please can you go on? Hello. All right.
Now.
Hello, is anybody here?
Good evening. Yeah, here. Good evening, all. Good evening, sir.
Right.
Okay. Sorry for a delay. We'll be starting in 5 minute time by 5:10, sir.
Okay, all right.
All right. Who do I send my slide to, please?
Sir?
Is that Harry? This is Chuck speaking. How do you get my slide?
All right, like you can share your screen, except if maybe you would like us to share it for you.
No, I
But if you
can't
can
share. I can share, no problem. Am I
okay, right.
host? Do you make me host?
Yeah, okay, we can do that. We'll do that now, sir.
No, whether or not can I share even if I'm not a host?
I think you can do that. I believe you
Oh,
can
that'll
do
be
that.
fine. No problem.
All right.
Okay, I think I
All
can,
right.
yeah.
All right,
That's
thank
fine.
you, sir.
All right. Okay.
What do you want to
All right. A good day, everyone. Please, can you hear me? I'm audible.
You're audible.
All right. Thank you very much. I remain Amiga here, and we are very sorry for a delay. I would like to invite on the INGS president, the Okulugwe Harry, to give us an opening remark and to tell us about INGN. Sir, please, can you what a remark, sir?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for being here. I'm Harry Okulagwe, President of Internal Medicine Interest Group of Nigeria, and I'm very grateful to have you all here. So this is a group that has been created to foster unity, willingness, cooperation among early career doctors and internal medicine or clinical medicine students chasing the goal of clinical and internal medicine through that diverse routes. And so far, so good. We have been having quite different range of programs, including our first program where we talked about Introduction to Internal Medicine, of which we continued. We had the Japan series, of which we talked about the routes of internal medicine, or rather the pathway to internal medicine in the United States. So we are pleased to be starting our research series today because we are working with a we work by building blocks and steps, and from our previous meetings and seminars and webinars, it's of no news the importance of research to our practice, to our dreams, and in our fulfillment. So on that mission and goal, we were able to bring about the best of the best speakers in Nigeria and outside Nigeria to actually come to engage us. So we are very honored to have within us a clinical physician all the way from Oxford University to be talking to us. He will be our chief speaker today. We also have a speaker and a young and vibrant speaker that has been involved in research, having more than 100 peer-reviewed papers, and just graduated at his MBBS in 2019. Also have another speaker, all the that has finished from pharmacology, got a degree, came back into medicine, and has also done miraculously wonderfully well in the field of research. So, as usual, we always have the best of the best. So today, we will encourage you all to stay tuned. We will thank our speakers for honoring our invitation and fulfilling well. And by God's grace, today program is going to be one for the books, and hopefully we are going to have a lot to take home. I hope this meeting, this webinar, builds on us and imbibe on us the spirit of research and make us think diverse, because as internal medicine physicians, as we want to be, we have to be diverse in thinking and creativity. So I hope this unlock a new path for us. And going forward, I feel that this will be one of our numerous research programs. So I welcome you all today to this program, and thank you all, everyone. I remember humble self for Kulagwari, President IMGN. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the opening remark. That was really nice. And like the president said, like one of the grand missions of IMGN is to stimulate research in among medical students and early career doctors. So this webinar is our first and grand step to achieving that. So for an overview of the webinar, this meeting is aimed to be carried within 2 hours. We have 3 experienced speakers, and we will be giving them around 20-25 minutes to give their presentation. After that, we'll have a Q&A session where all questions will be addressed. So also after that, a little time might be allocated to each speaker to give any additional comment that they may have. So before we proceed, I would like to remind everyone of the importance of maintaining proper manners during the session. Like, let's ensure to keep our microphones muted during the presentation to avoid any disruption. And if you have any question, please just write it down in the chat box, and after the session, I'll attend to them. So without further ado, I would like to call on Alabi and Badrudin to give us a citation of the first speaker. Yeah, please, go on, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Please, am I audible?
You are, sir.
Okay, I'll be reading the citation for Dr. Adamu Jibril Bamai, MBBS, MXc, PhD, MWACP. He is an associate professor of physiology, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, College of Health Science, Usman Dan Fodio University, Sokoto, and is also a senior registrar, Internal Medicine Department, Usman Dan Fodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. He is currently a principal researcher at the Cardiovascular Pathophysiology Research Unit, Physiology Department at UDUS, Sokoto, Nigeria. He is well versed with the procedure and interpretation of central blood pressure that utilizes the states of the art applanation tonometry, and is as well conversant with the working of electrocardiography and echocardiography. He is the principal investigator of a grant funded by the National Research Fund on the topic aortic function in hypertensive heart failure with a preserved ejection fraction. He is also the lead researcher from Nigeria in the 2020 grant cycle of African Uninet Research Corporation project studying the cardiac and vascular effect of hibiscus Sabdarifa calyx extract on Wista Watts. Furthermore, Dr. Adamu has received training in the use of laboratory animals in research at the University of Alberta, Edmonton, Canada, Wits University, Johannesburg, South Africa, and Hodos, Nigeria. His research result has been presented at scientific fora both locally and internationally in South Africa, Namibia, and Egypt, and he has many well-cited articles in peer-reviewed journals, especially in the cardiovascular field. I want everyone here to welcome Dr. Adamu Jigwe Bamaye.
All right. Thank you very much, Alabi, for the citation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. Hello, sir.
Thank you. I'm honored to be in your midst. Very much. What's the next?
Yes, sir.
What's the next?
Sir, yes, sir, you are the first presenter, sir.
Oh, I should go ahead and do my presentation, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought you want to do the citation of other speakers.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Good.
Okay. Let me see you first. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We can, sir.
You can see my slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. You can see the next slide, right?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
As the my name is Adamu Bamaye. I work with Usman Danfote University as a senior registrar in the cardiology unit of the internal medicine department, and I'm a reader in the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Medical Science, Usman Danfote University. I have been mandated to interact with us on medical research. So I'm going to give an overview of medical research. I'm going to adopt line my discussion. We look at medical research. Why do we do medical research? Types of medical research, types of study, the process in medical research, components, medical research, and then medical research initiative and their role. How do they encourage medical research? They talk about scientific communication, which include publications. Then what is the importance of medical research and will come. So medical research, in medical research, it's aimed at understanding or treating health conditions, may aim of improvement of human health quality of life. So the essence of medical research is to understand how disease and how to treat it, who can improve the general well-being of human beings. Now, we all know that as doctors or researchers in the medical fields, our roles hovers around three main points. One, to prevent disease. When disease, to prevent escalation or to prevent worsening. And then if the condition is there, to prevent pains and therefore improve. That's all. So medical research works towards this main point. Involve conscious effort by medical professionals or investigating risk, causes, prevention, and treatment of disease. Usually they will look at risk factors for diseases. What are the etiology of diseases? How do you prevent the disease and how do you manage this? So this is geared towards that. When you are doing research, it goes around this. So you are finding a risk factor for a particular disease entity. What are the etiologies? Then how do you prevent it and how? And then the success of medical research. The success of medical research is determined by the reliability and validity. Very important. Before a medical research can be successful, then the result must be reliable and it must be valid. Okay? And this is one problem when you're battling with what? When you say you do research and your results, is that result reliable? Is it valid? Because there are conditions that you must satisfy and say this result is valid. This is very important. We need to do that before you can now say, okay, you are analyzing the population. So we have a lot of issues in this report. And then thus, in the choice of correct sample, also where you are talking, how can you say result is valid? That result is valid. Now, all this start from even correct sample. We have issues here. I've told many people in this environment, in most developed countries, you hardly see people doing it because they have enough. Body take 50,000, 25,000, 10,000 population and then carry out study on. That is a very important, that's a very significant value. But here, because of poor financing of research, you see, for example, I was working with a colleague senior registrar yesterday, and was telling me that he has calculated the sample size for it. And the value is 65, and he's thinking of how to cut it. Imagine if your sample size 5 and you want to cut, or you want to cut down cost, maybe some other entailment of the study. Now, how will that result be generalized? It's difficult. Nigerian population is higher than 200 million. Now you just want to use 60 or less than 60 people to generalize. That is wrong. So this is one of the size and the nature. So all these things are very important before you can say your result. That result valid. Now, how do we do medical research? Medical research is very important because from where we are coming from, in those days, practice is based on expert opinion. Somebody will tell you that he had been doing heliography in the last 20 years. So he will not say from experience or from what I know, what they were practicing. But what you know, it may be opportunistic. It may be by chance. So it's possible there are some things you don't know. So, and that informs the reason why there should be research. Okay, and then values, results will be compiled, other things. And that brings us to the idea of why there are grades of research results. Okay, we have single result, we have case reports. When you see one case, that's very weak. Somebody can do a real research, that topic, that's good. Then somebody can carry out a review, that is okay, and somebody can do systematic review. It's even better. And then we have another one is have meta-analysis. So meta-analysis is higher. But that one, I'm going to talk to that as we are going. But what I'm trying to say here is that clinical expertise mainly what people do for. And now it has to come together with best available practices. Best available practices, because You have clinical practice because difference. Then what are the best labor practice? Then patent exploitation all together, and that is essence. Now, type of medical research. Medical research can be basically into three. Basically, we have basic or expert. Okay. Now, the basic is what is done in the lab most of the time. Most of the research we do in the lab, they are basic experimental research. Then the clinicals are the one we do in the clinical. Here, you want to try new drugs, new equipment, new procedure, new equipments, and then new material. Then epidemiological, into the field and look at or how risk factors association about that disease. Now, the clinicals also is subdivided. Clinical and epidemiological, that on the basic, can also be subdivided into interventional or non-interventional. Okay? Interventional simply means you identify a group of or a cohort of people or objects you want to carry out research on, and you introduce something and you look at it. You give something and then you look at it. Effective and it can be retrospective. Something has happened and you want to see what it is. The non-interventional is most of them they are usually like cross-sectional, descriptive. You see people and once, and then you just make so basic type. I'm going to now again, medical research can also, in terms of data, can be primary or secondary. In primary research or in primary data, what you do is you collect the data yourself. You develop the data yourself. You generate the data yourself. Okay? While in secondary, there is already an information that you are going to use. Okay? So in primary, it could be basic research, method development, analytical, then it can also be primary can also you can also generate either basic research, clinical drugs like I told you, clinical like you want to try a new drug, new equipment, new procedure. So those one is they are part of primary, and it could be epidemiological. So you take information, whether it is observation or experimental value, whatever, all those ones are part of primary. So you are generating. But in secondary, there's already a data. It could be just a review, it could be systemic or narrative. Narrative simply means you choose a topic, you get a particular topic, and then in systematic, there's going to be a well-designed way of collecting materials. You have your how to generate your how to pull the material together. You have a well-defined topic. Then you based on some criteria in some studies, right on that. But in meta-analysis, goes beyond that. In meta-analysis, you are going to look at data in these studies, analyze them. In fact, sometimes you need to even go further and request for those raw data from those. So it is more advanced compared to. So all these are just methods of doing research, how you go about clinical. This is just part of what I just explained. It's classified into primary and secondary research. Clinical experimental studies performed in primary, whereas secondary concentrates on what is already. And then this can also call a data or secondary, as I told you, secondary has to do with maybe review. Now, medical research process. The medical research process is a structured and methodological approach used to generate new knowledge and insight about various aspects of it. It is just a structured and a methodical way of approach. How do you go about this? And this is like globally or is uniform across the globe. Anywhere you go, the process is similar. You just need to get basics, So, and it has several stages, all of them aim at achieving a particular so that end something that can be used to generalize, to make inference, and then hypotheses can be tested and it will be found valid. So this is the reason why there are stages. And now there are many stages. Number one, I won't forget when I got to Canada, I was starting study, my supervisor, what he told me that, look, when you want to do writing in scientific communication, whether be it you have the abstract to present, or you have paper to publish, or you have a talk to give, the most important thing, there are four things you must put at the back of your mind. One, you must be very, very, very unambiguous what you are writing. And write a topic that is. When you write a topic, you must be clear. Topic must be very clear. Okay? Now, the second point he told me that you must identify your target. Who are you communicating to? Are you talking to the general population? Are you talking to students? Are you talking to a potpourri, different people who are medics, non-medics, or you are dealing with medics? If you are dealing with medics, dealing with cardiologists, or every medical doctor. So if you are talking to cardiologists, you know how you talk. You choose your words and then what you say to people. So if you don't have anything new to tell the world, you don't have business presenting. This is not a clinical. In research, you must bring out something new. Not like stereotype that this is heart failure. When you see this, you see this. No. Research, you have something new. Another thing is how do you construct or how do you build your. So these are very important when you are doing that. Are we together?
Yes, sir, we're together, sir.
Okay, cool. So
yes,
the components of typical medical research process, topic is very clear, okay? And in the topic, you identify research questions. Research questions are very important. What you want to find out, what you have to mention questions that have been probably in your mind for some time, then you raise this. It happens, you understand, and then you build your objective. Literature review, you cannot write without going back what is present in literature about your choosing topic. There must be something in the literature. Where have previous works they done? What are the lacunas? Where are those things that what effort have previous literature did? And where are the lacuna and where do you want to do? Where do you want to? You must visit previous studies related to people to find a previous study I've seen that why they are not. That is why you want to do. Then you have to formulate your hypothesis. Commonly, people talk about null hypothesis. Usually, one hypothesis to develop hypothesis for educated to educate your audience or the expected outcome and relationship between variables. And the research design. Before, research design has to do with methodology. So your methodology or methods is very important, especially in proposal. Methodology is not good. You want to write proposal to get grant, or you want to proposal somewhere. Your methodology is not strong. It means you don't even know what you are going to do. Because if you don't, you don't know your methodology very well, then what are you going to do? Because you can't just go and tell us it is not clear, have the wherewithal. Methodology must not research. The ethical consideration and approval. You cannot do research, especially in living things, be it humans, animals, without getting the necessary ethical permission. In Nigeria, we are more liberal. We don't talk about animal research much. I bet you when I was in Canada, it was a very big deal. I had to write about five different exams, which you must go minimum of 80 of this exam before they give you certificate for the practical one. And in Nigeria, you are allowed people take animals right by their tail. You don't take animals by their tail in Canada. You talk to them. They climb you, and they must not vocalize. There are animal law activists, animal health activists, animal rights activists, lawyers walking around in that. If any rat vocalizes, if they go and see a cage that is small for animal, you are in trouble. They will sue you. If you go to Canada, in Winnipeg and Quebec, they domesticate rats. We will domesticate cats. People have rats in their house like cats, like pets. So it's very important. Ethical, no, that is what. In South Africa, they are neither here nor there. In Nigeria, the law is almost none. So in South Africa, they also have a lot of law. But when I was in Johannesburg, we are working on that. The rat died in 1 week. They saw to carry out research on human. And this must be seen emphasizing on what we call the Helsinki Declaration. The World Medical Association made a declaration in Helsinki, and you need to read that. Hello? Hello? Are we together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are together, sir. But sir, please,
yes.
Yes, sir. But you have less than 5 minutes, sir.
Okay. Let me go. I know this time is not going to be enough. So ethical permission, and then there's another thing we call the informed consent. When you are also doing research, informed consent is very important. It's not enough that you have ethical permission. Whenever you are going to use, especially somebody who has the able to give his informed consent, understand and sign a consent. Then data collection, this relevant data according to, and then this must also be carefully done methodically, otherwise result will be invalid. Then the data analysis, you must know the rights that you want to use, and data interpretation is also very important. You can be able to person with interpretation. And finally, your discussion have a lot of issues the way people talk. Instead, discussions of people in this environment when they're discussing it, repeating their results. It should be very clear. And then publication is dissemination, more or less, communicating your result to others. And then there may also be need to further do research. You might have, and you think you need to go further. So, to achieve all these things, countries and the bodies have developed medical research initiative. We have the National Institute of Health. That one is Maryland, US, headquarters in Maryland. So they are very, very good. Encourage research, medical research. Have so many roles. And then there, and the slide is. And then we also have here in Nigeria, the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, where it's in Lagos. That one also support research in medical, not only in medical things, so that the end of it, improvement in health and then the quality of life, and therefore that will transfer economic. Now, scientific communication, this can be in three forms. It can be oral presentation, it can be poster presentation, it can be written. Do is that you submit an article and they ask you to come and present or your slides and one hand in front on the stage and present, and then poster, that one you have a poster present. It's also after they accept it, prepare a poster, stand by the poster, people come and read it, and that one you don't have. So the writing paper is what you send to owners for publication. There are different formats for doing this, and then you get yourself familiar with it. Now, what are the importance of medical research? Medical research has led to development of this tool that there are no two ways to order. I have a testimony to make in my research unit in Johannesburg. Most of the equipment we use there were designed in app. It has led to, also medical research has led to development of new treatment. That's correct. Something have happened, and then medical research will now tell you there's a new treatment, and the example you can see and then the cancer treatment. And also in the prevention of recently we by the COVID, and then research develop vaccines which contacting them. I also contributed to health issue, understanding of health issues and address the same. And then there was also a lot of impact on human health, and therefore their life become longer and prosperity. This has overall led to significant reduction in death at review. Now, to conclude my points, medical research validates the connection between knowledge and patient care. That is, aside from your expertise, you're an expert, then this in collaboration with available evidences and the patient expectation that has improved the knowledge of the patient. Strengthen the content for unsubstantiated. What do we now say this? But what if you can't say what you saw, what others have not seen, what others have seen, which you have not think of. So what you have seen, evidence-based put to make healthcare delivery better, and it has also opened way for innovations and user-friendliness. Patients, people are of innovation, we want to find out this, want to now measure the central blood pressure. How do we do it? Come with idea. Become a very user-friendly and non-invasive. Less hazard. Every medical and paramedical personnel should have the spirit of research, but should we end our medical knowledge in just seeing patients below there? No. Tell our idea to others. When you see patients in Sokoto, if you publish your work, somebody in America can read how you are also managing based on physiology. And indeed, some medical research finding should be. When you do that, don't stop, don't see your patient in clinic and discharge the patient. Try to go to conferences, seminars, and present your work so that people see how you see patient, how you manage them, and then you also learn. So I've started these materials, and time.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I know that there's a lot of questions already, but for the sake of time and orderliness, we'll take the question after the other two presenters have presented. So the first speaker just gave us an insightful overview about medical research, and though because of the limited time, he couldn't give enough explanation, but we still got a lot, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for that. The second speaker will be talking to us about the benefit and challenges of medical research participation in Nigeria. So I would like to call on Stanley Okafor to give us a citation of the second speaker.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stanley Okafor. It's my great honor to introduce an esteemed guest whose work has left an indelible mark on public health and global research. Dr. Chukwunyem Abejega is a public health and community medicine from Nigeria, pursuing a DPhil in clinical medicine at the University of Oxford. His main research interests are on the epidemiology of infectious diseases, measuring on mpox, Lassa fever, and COVID-19. He is currently working on the clinical characterization of mpox in Nigeria. Dr. Chukwunyem had his first degree in medicine and surgery from the Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, Edo State, Nigeria in 2008. He then proceeded to complete a 6-year residency program in public health and community medicine and was inducted as a fellow and a trainer in 2016. He served as a consultant in charge of case management of Lassa fever, COVID-19, and mpox at the Federal Medical Center, Ondo State, Nigeria, and was frontline medical personnel in infection prevention and control. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're not hearing you for some time.
All right. Please go on, Stanley.
Okay, he served as a consultant in charge of case management of Lassa fever, COVID-19, and mpox at the Federal Medical Center, Ondo State, Nigeria, and was frontline medical personnel in various outbreak responses. He is passionate about infection prevention and control during outbreak response and investigations. He previously served as the secretary to the COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Committee, Federal Medical Center, Ondo State, during the COVID-19 outbreak, and as a CPI Field Implementation Technical Working Group for the targeted Lassa epidemiological studies in preparation for clinical trials in affected countries. He was an advisor to WHO on Lassa fever, community transmission, research preparedness through global outbreak, alert and response network, and a member of the WHO Global Network of Clinicians and Lassa fever experts that produced the WHO guideline for clinical case management of Lassa fever document in 2018. He's a member of the National Working Technical Committee group for case management of Lassa fever that produced the national guidelines for Lassa fever case management in 2018, and also a member of the National Working Technical Working Committee group for infection prevention and control viral hemorrhagic fever that also produced the guidelines on infection prevention and control viral hemorrhagic fever as 2020. He further pursued a master's degree in public health at the University of Sunderland, United Kingdom, graduating with a distinction. He has undertaken several continuous professional meetings, research ethics, and infection prevention and control. As a researcher, Dr. Chukwunyem has authored and co-authored 54 journal articles in high-profile journals, a reviewer for international journals C. Springers, the Northfield Department of Clinical Research, focuses on the clinical characterization of mpox in Nigeria. Please, let's welcome Dr. Chukwunyem Abedega, a renowned public health physician, an accomplished global researcher, and a distinguished postdoctoral student at the prestigious University of Oxford, as he shares an insight on exploring the benefits and challenges of medical research participation in and outside Nigeria, strategies for success. You are welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
All right,
please,
thank you very much. I'm trying to unmute. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm trying to share my slide. I don't know why it became.
We can see your slide, sir.
Fully?
Yeah, no, fully. But we can see it, not in slideshow mode, sir.
But I can't even see my slide. That's the issue.
Well, okay.
The person with the pictures. All right. Okay, let me stop sharing and reshare. I think that's
all right. All right. Yes, that will do. Can you see it now, sir?
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, we can too, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can.
And my network is good. I understand. I think the last person that did it, so like his network not bad. So my name is Chooks, and this evening I'll just take you through some trying to exploit the benefit and challenges of medical research participation and outside Nigeria, and some of the strategies. I'm just going to tell a story. Let me first of all confess that at first I said I was not going to do a slide because I really needed us to discuss. But knowing that presentations nowadays, if you don't get a slide, it looks as if you're not serious, right? So what I'm going to do, don't look so much on the slide. That just points. I'll just be discussing some personal experiences and advice for all of us, including myself, as we grow in the field of research. So let me appreciate the organizers, the first speakers, and for everyone that took our time to attend this webinar. I know that definitely you will gain something. And I hope you guys attended church. I'm just coming back from church and jumped into this, all right? So let's look at the challenges. Thank you, first speaker here. It's actually done. I realized that part of my slide was actually in a slide, and just that tells you that we're doing the same thing, right? So be as it may, is giving us some introduction to medical research, why we do it, and now coming to Nigeria, I'll be specific to Nigeria issues, then I'll progress to what we can make out of where we are. I think the mantra should be do what you can where you are with what you have. So in Nigeria, most of our challenges we have towards research have to do with limited or lack of funding. Research is poorly funded in Nigeria, and most of our works are personal work. I give you an example. There was a time during the Lassa fever and COVID-19, there was a paper we published on the reversal of hypoalbuminemia to globulin ratios in confirmed Lassa fever patients. We did that by ourselves, our money and everything. Submitted, it was accepted. Not up to a week, we saw another publication on COVID-19, the same topic, but it was funded by the Indian government. We struggled to do ours ourselves, but another same topic in different viral infection was funded. So you see that most times we have these issues of funding. The lack of proper infrastructure, many times, especially for prospective researches or researches that have to do with biobanking. You realize that we've gathered so much data, we've gathered so much samples, and power just goes off. And if that happens, you realize that the work of more than 30 years will go down the drain within a minute, just because, sorry, I didn't know my video was not on, just because of power outages. Also, inadequate access to quality education. The truth is that, thank the organizer of this program for trying to bring up research awareness early enough, especially among our earlier career researchers and medical personnel. The way research is being taught, especially for those in medical school, through community medicine, and the way it's already tagged that community medicine is just meant for like social studies. And when you say you're going to community medicine, people are wondering, what are you going to do there? We lose interest in research. The teaching is poor. And this also affects our product at the end of the day, because coming out with quality papers that can meet international standard is very, very important. We have issue of brain drains. This is debatable because we can take advantage of it. Some of us left, we are doing our studies, having the benefit of world-class researches, we're having the benefit of collaborating. And if we decide to come back with the encouraging environment, we can impart what we're learning or our experiences on the new generation. So brain drain can be both negative and positive depending on how we see it. But as it stands at this moment, it's a big challenge. The vacuums we leave sometimes are not being filled with qualified people that can continue what we're doing. So continuity and sustainability becomes a very big challenge. And also we have bureaucratic challenges. In Nigeria, there are so many things that goes through bureaucracy and hinders the time or turnaround time for us to achieve what we're supposed to achieve. So these are basic challenges, but as it were, there must always be a way. As I tell some of the stories, you understand that there will be a way to overcome each of these challenges. So the next slide Why is it not going? I don't know what's happening. Okay.
But yeah, it's going now. It's going.
All right. So why do we need our indigenous research? Thank you again for the first speaker. He's talked about why research generally. But let's come down to Nigeria or Africa. Our medical situations or epidemiology is different from the Western world. And many times, the values that we use as cutoff in our laboratories are influenced by what is being done in the West. It's high time we begin to take the challenges to develop ours and know what is our value. Let's take blood pressure for an example. What is the normal range for blood pressure among Blacks? Yes, studies have gone out. We know now that in treating blood pressure, for example, managing blood pressure for the white and Black, we use different drugs to medication to start. That is a product of research, but we still need to do more. So our peculiar conditions and health challenges need to be driven, or decision concerns need to be driven by research-based policy, research-based results. This will influence the policies and how it should be carried out. Our indigenous research will also help us, the scientists, to structure our society along the relevant lines of development that we need in Nigeria and in Africa in general. We must not be those that just copy what we've been told. We can go ahead and research in it. I'm not going to spend time in this. I'm bringing out this for you to know that there are opportunities for us where we are to partake in the different research institutes in Nigeria. And most of these research institutes I'm going to name, I've worked with all of them, or almost all of them. We've had collaborations. So the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, for example, in Yaba, Lagos, are involved in both infectious and non-infectious disease. And they have various PIs. In some of our Lassa fever publications, we work together, and it's there online. You can go there for internship. You can go there for some weeks. They are running some programs, 6 months programs in genetics and different other hands-on practical exposures. The clinical research is in Abuja, collaborating with Walter Reed Army Institute of Research, established in 2014 through the United States military. It's a military-to-military partnership. And if you want to do your CITI, for example, which I'll come to later on, you realize that it's being sponsored through the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So they are majorly involved in infectious diseases, such as the COVID-19, the Lassa fever, the Mpox, the Ebola, and the HIV. You can browse out, find out these names, and see how you can take advantage of them. The VOM in the National Veterinary Research Institute in VOM in Jos is also there. And what concerns us with animal research, with the advent of One Health being preached everywhere, we realize that the human, animal, and environmental interplay is causing a lot of issues. And there's no standard or good research that can take place without collaborations. So the National Veterinary Research Institute is a good place. Just like the first speaker said, use of animals for research now is being questioned a lot. I must work within the ethical confines of the society or of the nation. And working with those involved will give you a better perspective on how to go about that. And there's this HGID, the African Center for Genomic of Infectious Diseases in Redeemers University, now just about 6 months ago renamed the Institute of Genomics and Global Health. Genomics and Global Health. This is actually where I started my research exposures in collaboration with them. I'll tell the story later on. But it's a good place if you think that you want to learn about genomics. Most of the infectious diseases, the genomic studies actually comes from EDE, especially analyzing Nigeria's sequencing of cases. So it's important you look at it. There's this last one, the Institute for Advanced Medical Research and Training, that is in UCH. It's something that you can look at for. I understand that most of us are in one teaching hospital or the other, or going through one residency program. So don't look too far. Within your hospital, there are programs that are running. The first speaker is doing well in the north. These are the type of people you should collaborate with and learn. Many of our teaching hospitals have research going on. The PIs, the principal investigators, are within those teaching hospitals or the university. Look out for opportunities. This program is just to create our awareness when it comes to issues of research. Research is a safe place to find yourself. And I encourage all of us, look at what is going on. It starts with observation. It talked about case reports. Most of our policies or what becomes guidelines comes out from our case reports, then expert opinions. And we're able to marry all of them together to come up with documents that can guide health practices, which are reviewed as research goes on, and we have evidence or better evidences. We get them reviewed. So don't look so far.
When you listen, how you listen, what do you do?
Are they talking to me?
Sir, sorry about that. It's just a background noise.
So don't look so far. Look at what is happening in your center. Try and key into it. And how do you do that? You do that. Okay, I'll come to how you do that. Let me just take these certifications that you will need. They are online. It's good for you to have your good clinical practice, good clinical and laboratory practice, and you can get that through the National Health, which is for the Nigerians, for Nigeria, the National Health Research Ethics Committee, the NREC. Go to the Google, register, you see those courses, you do it. You can also go to CITI, you can type it online, you register, there are free online courses. There is no serious researcher, or there's no researcher that will take you serious when you don't have these certificates. All right? They are all online, they are free. Or if it's I don't think it's paid for, it's free. Otherwise, any body that is involving you in research gives you access to their training bodies, but you must get certification, you must get certified ethically for you to touch human subjects or even animal subjects. Now, how do you key into this program? I told you that don't look too far. Your teaching hospitals, your universities have research hub, or they have research program running. Key into them. So start from where you are. Start from home. Then volunteer. You see, this is where we have issues. When I was coordinating different researches, and I have a opportunity to invite people to come join me do some research, and the first thing they ask is, how much are you going to pay? That is very, very disturbing. In as much as we know that a laborer is worth of his wages, Don't put finance first. We're talking about opportunities, right? We're talking about how to explore. We're talking about how to key into programs. If you are money conscious, you will not get a space. You need to sacrifice something. Even as you grow higher in research, there are times you need to sacrifice. For example, I review for journals. When you are a reviewer, you don't get paid. I review for Plus One, I review for BMC, I review for Springer Natures. As I talk to you now, this week alone, I've rejected more than 4. I'm thinking of accepting 2 because as a commitment, any paper sent to me that has to do with Lassa fever and MPOS, I take it as a commitment to review it. Yes, you might get 1 or 2 certificates to show that you have reviewed, but it is free. It takes your time. So as you even volunteer to go collect samples and anything, as you grow older or higher in research, have it in view that you will always keep volunteering to do something for you to have, a wider space. Try and collaborate. Most of our researches now, we talked about our challenges. If you remember the first researches, and I said we're going to say how we're going to overcome it. With proper collaboration, most university abroad or research institute come to us in Africa to collaborate. When that happens, you realize that they provide infrastructure if you do your negotiation very well. Because they are funded and they need result, there are ways you negotiate. Instead of negotiating for your personal money, you can negotiate for institutional infrastructure development. For example, over there in Owo, when we started Lassa fever studies, some of the bodies that came built for us from the beginning, wards expanded our infection control ward. We changed it from infection control ward to infection control and research center. When the CEPI program came, we had our own negotiations and we were able to have an IT section in the building where we transmit most of our researches and hold our meetings. So the issue of infrastructure has been taken care of one way or the other. We have our solar panel that took care of electric power issues because we have biobanks to cater for. So if you do your negotiation very well, you'll be able to take charge or control some of those challenges that we have. Then look at for scholarship abroad. The world is a global village. Many times we spend our time on Facebook. We are not facing our books. We spend our time chatting. This period from August, September, October are times for us to look at for scholarships. They are flowing everywhere. There is money in research and people need to execute those researches in Africa and they need you to get it executed. All you need to do is key into that program and see how you can secure these scholarships. They are there and I'll give you 1 or 2 guides and connect you to those you can follow to see how you can get educated about scholarships abroad. Let me just give my story a little of how I started, and that will help you. When I did my residency in Irwa Specialty Hospital, and I'm proud always to associate myself with where I trained. My MBBS from Epboma. Yeah, that's in Epboma you hear of. That's where I trained. And just give us the encouragement that we can move from wherever we train to wherever we want to be in the world. And during that period, the African Center for Excellence for Genomic Studies of Infectious Disease, which is AGID, came through Professor Happy for a 1,000 genome project sample collection. And we volunteered, or I volunteered. While doing that work, it was later realized that there was money in it and we are paid. But as a young researcher, please remove your eye from the budget. Because when you start looking for what is not looking for you, you get discouraged. There's a project you have volunteered, face the project. Every collaboration, the budget that is there, have a well spread out way for it to be spent. So let's face what we're doing, right? So I worked with HG. That project was very successful. What happened? For being distinguished during that program, any other program that was coming to ISTH, Prof. Happy always want me to be in charge. I'm calling his name and I'm speaking because I'm going to give you more of those stories. Then why doing that? We had NCDC collaborations. Through ISTH, got connected to WHO collaborations because everybody coming needs success. And whenever they come, they want to find out what can we work with that we can get results. Every researcher or every funded research needs a good result. Because over here abroad, research is like a big business. You have to deliver for you to get more fund. And there's so much funding in research. And they don't want to fail. So when they come around, they're looking for serious guys, really serious guys, man. And when I finished my residency in Irua, I got an appointment in Federal Medical Center, Owo, and I had to connect to Professor Happy to come over to Owo and open a center, which went through very successfully. Then, Alliance for International Medical Actions came Alima. We built collaboration with them. They were introduced to us through NCDC. And from there, different study collaborations began to come in, like the CEPI, like now training for clinical trials and everything. This same story can be reproduced in Illinois Specialty Hospital. I don't want to go into ISTH story because they have their own story to tell, but I'm also part of them. So you need to volunteer. You need to get interested in your environment, know what's going on, key into the programs, and you see that opportunity begins to come. These are the people that will, always recommend you when they have opportunities to be trained in one center or the other, or they need representations in other centers. Those you work with are those that will always recommend you. Try to build your online presence in medicine. How do you get that? Do you have a Google Scholar account? Do you have a Web of Science account? Do you have a ResearchGate account? Have you opened your OSEED account? Everything I'm talking about, you can Google it and you see how to register. The little you are doing, put them in. You have LinkedIn. I want to believe that the speaker invited me through the LinkedIn. I don't think I've met him. And I'll tell you that the PhD I'm doing in Oxford, I got it through LinkedIn. How? Yes, I came to the UK to do my PhD, to do my master's, and I worked on monkeypox systematic review. The day of my presentation, I took a picture, put it on LinkedIn. Few days or few weeks later, somebody tagged me and said, there's a position in Oxford, please apply. Went through the application process, and that's how I got the position. So get your LinkedIn account active, get your OSEED account, because that's what tests about medicine. Get your ResearchGate, just get all these accounts there. And instead of wasting your time in, especially when you are not monetized in other internet platforms, walk into your science platforms. The little papers or articles you are able to publish, please be careful with predatory journals. Because most of the journals you have in, I understand in Nigerian situation also, whereby they tell you for you to grow, you have to publish locally. Try as much as possible to get your articles into good journals. It might be expensive to publish, but there are always waivers for us over there in Africa. The last paper I published here in the UK was over $2,000. But if it was in Africa, I would not pay, or it would be like 300,000 or less. So we have waivers. And I'll just recommend somebody that you can follow on LinkedIn. There is Dr. Abdul Aziz. You can find out his profile. I just put it here. You can follow him on LinkedIn. He's talking so much about helping people gain scholarship. He just finished from Oxford. He's a Nigerian pediatrician. He has a lot of, experience on application for master's and PhD scholarship. Check him out on LinkedIn profile. Then begin to follow those that are following him. There's somebody else I would have recommended. I couldn't get his profile. But when you follow Dr. Abdul Aziz, you'll be able to see those that follows him speaking on scholarship. Look at those. They are real. So many scholarships flying. Fundings are available. Just get in touch. And I want to believe that this program is for somebody that will just look into these opportunities that are flying everywhere. So just to give you an example, this is my LinkedIn profile. This is my Google Scholar profile. This is my ResearchGate profile. And this is my OCID account profile. When you click any of these, so let me tell you why you need to build these profiles. We're talking about opportunities, exploring the opportunities. Anytime you apply, do I say
sorry,
apply?
sir. Please, you have less than 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you.
All right.
Anytime you apply for anything, one thing they do is type your name on any Google search. They want to see your presence. They want to see what you've been doing. So most times you are interviewed before your interview. Yeah. You are interviewed before your interview. They must have seen the trend of your work. So for earlier career researcher, whatever you do, and the truth is, we have lots and lots of experiences, just that we don't know how to put our experiences to paper and get it organized. You've done as job. In that as job, you rotated through 4 major clinical postings. There's a way you write your CV. You went for youth service. You became the MD. There's a way you write it on your CV. And the activity you took part in. Then you are doing residency. A lot of opportunities. Because many people do not have these exposures, but you have it. So most of the things I can advise you on is on infectious diseases, because that's where I'm working on. I majorly work on mpox, on COVID-19, on Lassa fever. And the world, by reason of what is happening, is tending towards infectious diseases most times. So get your presence online. Don't waste your time in other activities. Your experiences can be put into presentations, and before you know it, 1 or 2 people will contact you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I would like to call on, yes, let's see. Okay, I would like to call on for the citation of the next speaker to be read. I would like to call on Victor Odia to read the citation of the 2 speakers.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, yeah, I'm very thrilled to read the citation of our next speaker, Dr. Malik Olatunde Odoye. Dr. Malik Olatunde Odoye is a renowned medical researcher worldwide. He's the president and CEO of the Medical Research Cycle in Bakuva, Democratic Republic of Congo. He attained his MBBS degree in 2019 from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He's passionate about writing, academic research, public health, global health, preventive medicine, and the One Health approach to disease prevention and control. Dr. Malik has published more than 100 peer-reviewed online articles in several scientific and PubMed indexed journals, including ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and Scopus. Additionally, Dr. Malik has vast experience in project management, coordination, teamwork, and public speaking. Dr. Malik worked as a monitoring and evaluation officer at the Federation of Medical Students Association, FAMSA, also an editor at the Nigerian Medical Students Association, NIMSA, and as the West African Regional Director at Oli Health Magazine Organization for 5 years. Overall, Dr. Malik has many allies all over the world, especially in Iran, India, Pakistan, Kenya, the United States of America, and the United Kingdom. Dr. Malik's hobbies include traveling, reading, writing, and watching movies. So with a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Malik Olatunde Odoye to give us his presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Welcome, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon. Anywhere you are listening to me this time, I thank you so much for the citations. I appreciate, and thanks to my senior colleagues for giving us a wonderful speech on the topics. My name is Malik Olatunde Odoye, as he has already mentioned. And this evening, I will be taking the last part of the presentation, which is navigating the path to research, a guide for Nigerian medical students and early careers doctors, with the subtitle, How to Get Involved into Research as a Nigerian medical student or early careers doctor. Okay, so the first slide shows our introduction. Our introduction, getting involved in research, ways to get involved in research, benefit of getting involved in research, and conclusion. Yes. Now, next to the next slide, we have the first two speakers have given us the definition of research, but just to reiterate it, research is a scientific process to discover novel findings with aim to solve problems. From the word research, it's two syllable. You are trying to do more findings about something that has been done already. At the same time, you are trying to discover new things or new findings with the aim to solve a problem or problems. What I'm trying to say, what I mean by this is that, giving an example of, let's say, malaria outbreak in, let's say, in maybe in Kano State or Lagos State, as the case may be. So you as a researcher, your aim should be like, okay, what is causing the outbreak of malaria in Kano State, and then how can we tackle the outbreak? So you need to now try to find out the causative agents, and other things that might cause the outbreak, either maybe lack of awareness of malaria prevention, maybe lack of or limited use of malaria medications, etc. Okay, or maybe lack of knowledge of malaria vaccines, etc. So once you're able to find the problems, you now try to solve the problem. Okay, and in the process, you might need to now try to discover past works that have been done on malaria outbreaks in other areas, either in Nigeria itself or other places. Now, research has its benefits and challenges, yes. There is nothing in this life that has benefits without challenges. Okay, either being, before you even be a medical doctor or a student or researcher, we all have it comes with benefits and challenges. But the fact is that there's a proverb that says that if you want to if you want to drink if you want to drink honey in a cave, you must not be scared of sting of bee, or if you be something like that. So if you want to be a very renowned researcher, you must not be scared of the challenges, because everything in life comes with its own sacrifice and challenges, as the other speakers have said. Now, getting involved in research is of great importance to committed individuals across the globe, as I said. So it is very necessary for us to get involved in research because of its importance. Now, getting involved in research, different people across the globe get involved in research for some reasons. Okay, for example, you might want to be a researcher because of money, because of global recognition. Maybe you want to even get job opportunities, etc. Then medical students should not be left out. Over the years that I started conducting research, I noticed that medical students, let me be specific now, Nigerian medical students, because I relate with different medical students across the globe, especially Pakistani students, whereby they reach out to me on daily basis that I should maybe mentor them on research. But unfortunately, Nigerian medical students are not interested, maybe, or they are scared, or maybe the lecturers or the professors are not encouraging them or carrying them along. They are only focusing on their academics. Yeah, it's good to focus on academics, but nowadays that we are in a global world and things have changed, I believe that medical students should not be left out because of the opportunities attached to research. Um, Now, ways to get involved in research. Yes, I listed some, but I have not exhausted them. The first thing you need to do as a medical student is to be passionate about it. Once you are passionate about something, your passion can drive you anywhere, either in Nigeria or beyond. Okay, the next thing is that you need to be determined and committed. Now, in anything you do in life, you have to be determined, meaning that you have to be, how do I put it now, assertive, in what you want. Like, okay, yes, I want to be a researcher, I want to be a renowned researcher, I want to be known all over the world. This is what I will do, and maybe I will need to you know schedule my priorities well. I will try to work extra hard, maybe trying to do some kind of extra work for me to just get this involved. Then the next thing is that you meet the right person in life. In life, generally, apart from research, um, meeting the right person in life is the best, either in your academics, in your relationship, in your finances, in your wealth, in your religious activities, etc. Not only research. If you don't meet the right person, you might just get lost. I remember when I was trying to seek for admission some years back in Unilag, I tried to get involved with the wrong person, trying to scam me a lot. But thank God I escaped. The person was trying to, tell me some kind of lies about admissions. But thank God I was able to escape. Now, there are people that we try to lie to you, scam you when you are trying to navigate your path in research. Try to just, collect money from you, scam you in essence. We have research fraudsters too, not only internet fraudsters. We have research fraudsters. We have journals that are predators, or they call it predatory journals, whereby they are just interested in your money or try to get your names, and they will do some kind of torture, and then they will lie to you, and they will just scam you with some kind of journal research, without any good DOI, that's digital observed identifier, okay, and other databases. So you have to be careful when you are trying to get involved or navigate yourself always in research. Okay. So, and how do you meet the right person? Okay, yes. Now this is a very good question. You meet the right person. Okay, why is it not showing? Sorry, the next slide. The ways to get. Okay, yeah. So how do you meet the right person? Of course, we are in a global world. We are in a digital world. And a lot of researchers are online, very well-known ones. Well, as we as religious person, number one, you can pray to God to guide you. Then after you pray, you can start asking people around. Okay, I want to get involved in research. Who can I talk to? You can see, of course, as students, you know the lecturers that are friendly. You know that the ones that are not friendly, the ones that are interested in your own career, you understand, and people that can give advice. Don't talk to friends that are not interested in your career, because some of them can be envy, can be jealous about your own life. So you meet people that are interested in your career, and maybe they have some kind of good orientation and background and experience. You can talk to them freely and say, okay, sir, ma, please either you meet them personally one-on-one and tell them your interest, your aim, or you can send an email to them. I do send emails a lot, either through maybe I'm interested in seeking for research collaboration. I can just see maybe one person online and I can just email the person. Either he reply or it doesn't reply, it doesn't concern you. What you have done is that you have talked to the person. And luckily for you, because life is about taking risk. You understand? So if you don't take the risk, you might be limited. Now the other thing is that we have social media platforms, and as the second speaker said, we have our LinkedIn, we have our Facebook, Instagram, etc. Ari, for example, we have not met physically, but he messaged me on Twitter last time, and thank God we have come this far in working together in research. And we by God's grace we keep going and we keep doing more by God's grace. So the next point is self-navigation. Self-navigation means that you should try to do some kind of search, whereby you can just take your phone and maybe something interests you. Maybe now, for example, now during the last COVID-19, pandemic, that was the only time I even got my research skills and experience very well, because I did some kind of self-navigation, what is going on, what is this disease. I learned about the COVID-19 because COVID-19 is actually a virus that most of our lecturers talk in person, not that they dwell more on it. Yes, in microbiology then. So, and it's a viral disease that we didn't even take much cognizance of then. But during the pandemic period, I now try to look at what is this virus, and what is the origin, what is the type of the virus? Is it DNA? Is it RNA? What is the strand? Okay, all those kind of dynamics, and how can it be transmitted? What are the presented symptoms, etc. So I knew more about COVID-19 even by self-study, even not even conducting research. So because I was preparing that maybe I might be asked in my study, my career, or something, somebody can interview me. And later on, we have written several papers, studies on COVID-19, thank God. Now, the next thing, research volunteering and internships. Yes, the second speaker talked about volunteering. Yes, if you want to get research, you need to also get a volunteer in anything you do in life. Volunteering can take you to a lot of places you don't know. Either no, a lot of people now are putting more effort in paid works. Yeah, it's good to have a paid research works, etc. But if you want to start somewhere as early career and student or early career researcher, you need to want to volunteer first. Volunteering, maybe you can just meet a lecturer, maybe a senior professor or a consultant. Okay, sir, maybe doing word round. You can say, oh, maybe the person is talking about some syndromes, or is talking about something that you don't even know about, but maybe it's of interest of you. Maybe, for example, let me give you an example of Reyes syndrome. Okay, Reyes syndrome is a syndrome that is as a result of, I think, side effect of, is it aspirin? I've forgotten. Yeah, if somebody mentions something like that and you are interested, the best thing is to, okay, yeah, answer what is this? If you think, sir, can I conduct research, or you have any research that you are doing on this field? It can be malaria, it could be anything. Yes, the person can
That's
say
my
yes.
Mary.
Okay,
If you smell Mary, come and carry your debt.
okay.
It shouldn't smell.
Am I talking? Are you talking to me? Okay. Okay, yeah.
If you
Research
smell,
you
come
need to
and
get
carry your
involved.
debt too.
Yeah, you can do online volunteering or physical volunteering, as well as internship programs. Then engage in research mentorship programs. Yes, there are a lot of research mentorship programs that you can go on to do. Yeah, maybe for example, maybe physical classes or online classes, either on Zooms or Google Meets, and what have you. Then do not give up. When I say do not give up, when you are getting involved in anything aside research, it might come with some challenges. Maybe you can be tired, you can be financially limited, etc. But by God's grace, do not give up. The more you keep pushing, the more you can get it done. Then what are the benefits of research? This last slide. Number one is high esteem. It boosts your high esteem. That's your confidence level. in community medicine or public health, we used to test for CL, the confidence level. Okay, sorry. You can boost yourself esteem. Sorry, is anybody talking? Okay, then increase your knowledge, of course. The more you read, the more you study, the more you conduct research, it increase your knowledge. Then with recognitions, you can have both local and international recognitions. You know, I remember the last time, the first time I started my study, my research, I just do a peer review. I didn't know that it will take me to this stage of my career. Okay, so if once you start a research, you publish a research, the next thing that people will want to cite you, different researchers will reach out to you and they will collaborate more. And then the next one is academic promotion. Yes, in research helps to boost your academic performances and promotions, either from a junior rank to senior rank, or junior officers to senior officers, or let me say research officers. Maybe even in schools, you can start as a associate professor, let's say reader to associate professor to professor level or consultant. Then scholarship opportunities, yes, we all know these days a lot of people to Japan, let me use the word, now to UK, to the USA, etc. Now, research helps to facilitate your scholarship opportunities, either to secure a full further master program or PhD. Some people can get PhD with program directly from undergraduates, not going to masters. Depending on the number of maybe research you have, number of citations you have, indexing, etc., and the number of peer review process you have done, for people or for researchers or for journals. So it helps to secure scholarships. Then job, yes, people can pay you for research, etc., either to supervise, to coordinate, either in Nigeria or beyond. In conclusion, research is a great thing to be involved at. The ability to get involved as a medical student will foster your medical career. Yes, so I employ Nigerian medical students and as well as early career researchers to please involved in research. It's a very good thing. Don't be scared. Yeah, don't be scared in getting results. Just follow what I have said, how to get involved, and by the grace of God, I believe that all things will be fine. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be open to answer you.
All right. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Please let's all give a round of applause to all the speakers, like they really did well. For the questions, yes, we'll go to the Q&A sessions now. So I'll try to direct the questions directed to each speaker all at once. Sure. For you, sir, I'll start backwards. I'll start with Dr. Malik, sir. So you said something about getting PhD directly without doing masters. Please, can you shed more light on that?
Okay. You mean you're talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You, sir.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I was trying to say about getting scholarship. Yes. The number of researches, or let me say research you have as a student or after graduation, it can qualifies you to get secured admissions into for PhD programs directly without doing master program, because the norms is to finish your undergraduate and start masters and maybe PhD. But some students or some people or researchers or doctors, some of them can get PhD directly based on the criteria. Because some students, some universities or institutions abroad have criteria for having PhD programs. So if you as a researcher and you have conducted a series of research in your fields or related fields, and you are trying to apply for masters or PhD, you can be given a fully funded scholarship to study PhD directly without doing masters, because it is assumed that okay, yes, maybe you have some versatile experiences or skills in research, so they will try to now promote you to PhD. But it's not all the cases, not all the cases. It's just a few cases. Okay.
All right.
I hope
So,
it's clear.
Yeah, sir. That answer your question, sir. Please, if anybody has a question for Dr. Malik, please you should ask now before we go on to Dr. Chukweme. I think there's another question in the chat box. There's another question, sir. They say that how can a medical student
Okay, sir.
how can a medical student be asked to co-author the findings of a research, and how do we include a student name when publishing the finding? I don't think. Did you get the
Okay,
question,
come
sir?
again. Sorry.
The first question was
Okay,
that,
so come again.
like, how do you include a student's name when publishing a finding? I don't really get the question too. And the second question was that,
Okay. So
how can a medical okay,
question
go on.
first.
The second question
Okay,
is that
so
how can a
how
medical
to
student
include.
be a co-author? Right.
Okay, yeah, so you can a student can get involved or included in research for a publication. From number one is from maybe being passionate about it and show some interest in such research and meeting an expert, research expert. Okay, either through volunteering or yeah, some kind of level of commitment. No, if a student does not have any prior experience before, he can just walk to any lecturer or student that he thinks or she thinks that he or she has some experience in research. So, and you can write an application, a formal request that introducing yourself that you are this and that, and you want to now try to get involved. Then, by God's grace, your application can be granted, and that is how you can start. So, once you start something, I think that would be the sky will be the starting point.
All right. Thank you.
All right, sorry, can I just contribute to this, please? I think the
All
best
right.
way for you to get, as a medical student, to get co-authorship is to take your research posting, or your, what's it called now? Yeah, that's your final year research. I'm trying to get, what's the code for that in public health. Take it seriously. So when you're doing your research, your intention is not just to pass exams, because early career researchers are looking for data to publish. If your work is good enough, follow the scientific processes, they will be the one, your lecturers will be the one to tell you that we publish your paper. And once that is done, your name will be included. You won't be the first author, you might not be the second, but that is how to start. Then please, let's also understand that there are criteria for co-authorship. If you volunteered and you were employed to go and collect data and you were paid, it depends on your level of involvement. Many times, for those we use as data collector, we pay them. Their name do not come into the paper. But if someone, just like the last speaker says, comes to me and conceptualize a research topic, it might not do much. It might just be from observation. You've seen that so-and-so patients are going through this. You speak to your lecturer or your teacher, and they really put it into consideration, and they realize that. So when it comes to contribution, conceptualizing the research, your name is there. Maybe you reviewed one of the drafts, or you contributed in the writing, the zero draft, you did something, then your name can be included. So the inclusion of your name into a paper, an article, a journal, is dependent on the level of contribution, your involvement, beginning from conceptualization, writing of the introduction, data collection, data analysis, writing of the final draft, submission. If you were not involved in all this, or you were involved on an agreement of payment, you are just collecting data for me, I've paid you off. You got the experience, but your name is not in that paper. So it depends on what you want. All right, thank you.
All right. For that, you've even answered one of the questions that was addressed to you about how a student name could appear in the research paper. So another question for you, sir, like you talked a lot about volunteering, like all speakers talked a lot about volunteering, and that's one of the things I picked from this webinar. So somebody asked a question about, like, you talked about volunteering in research journals. Like, how can we contact these journals, like, to show our interest? How can we do that?
You don't contact journals you don't contact journals. Journals are you don't contact journal to show your interest.
Okay.
Journals are just the last part to publish your paper. So if it is issue of journal, it is the corresponding authors, or as a research team, you've agreed on this where we are publishing, and the corresponding author relates with the journal. I want to presume what the person is asking is, how do you get into volunteering position? I want to assume that's what it means.
All right.
I've said, look at your institution. Something is going on. You might not know. Something is going on. In every institution, there are researches going on. The easiest way, or most guys that are really involved, are those in public health department or community medicine, as we fondly call it. When I give you an example. Let me just give you some. Let me just relate so that you understand better. I think examples make things very clear.
Yes, sir.
When Lassa fever was ravaging where I trained, ISTH, this is how I got into research. This is how I got recommended. At a particular time, the ward was filled up and AROD went on strike. But I insisted that even as an activist, then I insisted that I was going to volunteer to manage these people without pay, even during the strike. The level of risk was high, but knowing that I was able to do that, my department made me like the representative for LAFRA among the residents when it comes to issue with the institute. So you are able to hear, know, and observe if a new body is coming to collaborate, the ongoing research. You are able to get the information. And once you have information, you know how to negotiate or maneuver your way into it. For non-communicable diseases, like the first speaker said or involved, there are many studies, clinical trials that are going on in hypertension and diabetes. Even as medical students, you're going to collect data for nutritional status of the community. You can publish those things. You can also publish your experience. You can publish your experience, and because once you publish and it's online, before you know it, you begin to have citations. And let me give you some advantage of citation. This is not within the context of this presentation, but let me just show you something. When you begin to have citations, you begin to be relevant in the scientific world. Some of you want to jump back, that's the word they use. If you want to apply, for example, for the national interest waiver for the US through academic or scientific research, the first thing they're going to look for is what is your level of citation. And they can even ask, do you review for journals? You have the evidence. So if you go to my Google Scholar now and you search, you see that my citation have increased. Almost every day I'm being cited by reason of so many papers that are online there in good journals, not pediatrics journals. You can, these are resources you have at your disposal that you can present. Even in the UK, where you want to apply for the, there's this route, if I remember the name now, let you know, talent visas, for the talent visas, through research is there. They're looking out for your citations. They're looking out for your involvement in research. And you can be given 3 years. Why people come to the UK to get indefinite leave to stay for 5 years. Talent visa is 3 years. So that's how you can get involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the informative response.
Then also, please, the reason why I personally mentioned research institute in Nigeria is for you to be aware, and if there are opportunities, you can go there and do internship. You can do exchange program. I expect medical student association now to begin to look at how they can do exchange program with these people, send 1 or 2 students there and observe what is going on. Once you are able to do exchange program, internship, or observationalship with these people, once there are researchers that are coming to your area, they make you a focal person and get you involved. That's the reason why we shared some of those. Start at home and begin to grow. Thank you.
All right, sir, please, while you're still here, like there are 2 more questions for you, sir. Please, if we just take them. The first one is about the global talent visa. I think it's mean like how can you get them? And the second question is how can one get involved in peer review? Yes, sir. Please, did you get the question, sir? No, sir.
Sorry, I got that. I was already answered. I didn't know I muted.
All right, sir. All right.
You mean for you to be a reviewer?
Yes, how can you get involved in peer review? That's the first question. That's the second question. And for the first question is about the global talent visa.
Okay, so for become a reviewer, is dependent on your work. So when you start writing and publishing, it's just like this Facebook thing, the acronyms and the rest that move. Summa, when you get cited, journals begin to see your name popping up in a particular subject. So it's the journals that send you articles to review.
Okay.
They don't pay. So when you review, they give you time and you're able to do it. And they see that you gave a good comment. So for you to understand how to review first, you need to go and study how to critique a journal article. Critiquing a journal articles helps you to know what is expected in particular type of researches. So if you're talking about case report, for example, there are different styles. It's a different thing entirely. If I go into that topic, we won't leave here. So depending on if you are using the Strobes analysis, there are different type of analytical model you can use. Once you know how to critique, so everything is online. Just type how to critique a journal article. You'll see the steps. And once you do a good critique or review of a paper and send, before you know it, another paper start writing you. So you get tired because I get invitation to review at least 3 every week. So I have to reject, and just streamline myself to what I'm committed to now. I'm committed to LASA and MPOS. Any of those journals, I will squeeze out time to do it. I can give them 3 hours a week, get it done, send back, and follow the process. For the global talent visa, you can type it online. For global talent visa for the UK, type it online. You'll see. I'm trying to. I would have sent you the link now. Let me see if it's on this. Let me see. I think it's on the other of my phone. Before the end of this thing, I will send the link here. But if you have a talent, for example, the organizer of this program can be termed a genius. You see, just that we don't know how to package what we are doing. What these organizers are doing they are a global resource. Having to run an organization, you state your progress. Do you know you can publish this thing you just did? From the conceptualization of this group or whatever you call it, organization, to how you invited the guest speakers, to how you followed up, because you are bringing a pro forma for somebody that you are solving a problem for someone that be imagining, how do I start up an online training webinar? You see, it is, you are the one thinking it. Nobody have done it before. You send it to a journal. They look at it. They look at the merit. They publish it. Next time, when somebody conceptualize this type of thing, they have nobody to review it. You are the originator. They ask you to review what this guy has done, if it's correct, if it's worth publishing. And that is, so your observations, the thing. So when you look at Global Talent Visa, there's the one for academics, there's one for talent. All these are our guys that are on YouTube and making so much money. How do you think they are getting visas to this place? They just look at Global Talent Visa. It can be in the US called National Interest Waiver, UK Global Talent Visa, and the state how they have actually affected lives, how they are bringing smiles to people. These guys check it online and they see that this guy on Facebook have 100,000 followers, so it's not a liability to us. He can come and stay in our country. They're giving the visa. So your talent, what it means is, how do you present your talent? The way you are affecting lives, the way you're organizing program, your analysis, and your contribution. You get it. Before the end of this one, let me see if I can paste the link and you see how you can get it. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the informative listen, the informative answer, sir. So for the first speaker, sir, there are three questions for you, sir, Dr. Bamai, sir. The first question is that, like, could you share more light about systematic review of secondary data? And the second question is that, like, can a student publish an observational study alone without, like, the assistance of any professor or something like that, just by yourself as a student? And the last question is that websites, like, to access medical research information. So that was the questions here for you, sir. Yes, sir. Are you with us, sir?
Yeah, thank you so very much.
Sorry,
right. I had to take a break and go and pray.
Right.
So I have not been part of this. So the first question is that they want more light to be shared on systemic review. Yeah, yes, systemic review is part of what we call the secondary data. You are not the original owner of research. You have a particular area of interest, a topic of interest that you want to shed light. Okay. Now, what you do, we call it, it's not systemic, it's systematic. A systematic course, have a topic you want to discuss, bring out from it. So you have a way of generating database, whether you use Google Scholar, you use Web of Science, or you use any other way, maybe you use Entrust PubMed, anyone, gather information of related topics. Have lay down rules of taking in some studies and ruling out some studies. You read them, and then you put out the information that you put out. That is what we call systematic. And sometimes you also look at their results. Okay, you discuss their results, what they talk about. It is different from narrative, and it's different from meta-analysis. In meta-analysis, you don't only stop there, you also go into that. Time you may even have to write inner owners get their raw data and analyze it. It's like, it looks like a primary data, but it's not primary because we're not the one that generated it, that you are collecting it from another person, then you analyze, bring out a particular. Now, I give you an example. I lost my supervisor. My supervisors in the PhD were husband and wife. And when the husband died in 2020, December 9, at the funeral, of our collaborators said they have never seen somebody as intelligent as he. On one study, what we call the epoch study, he has published 103 from that. 103 papers in peer-reviewed, well-cited international journal. 103 papers from one study. Now, what am I saying? If we bring data now, if you bring a data, everybody will look at it. Yeah. Meta-analysis, you are going to look at the result of other people's work. Sometimes you go even extra mile by even requesting for the raw data and reanalyze it and bring out a result. Or systemic review, get a topic you want to discuss. Related topics, get it from different search engines, like Google Scholar, PubMed, and so many other ways, Science Direct and other ways. You pull them together, you have a criteria for taking in and doing some of the studies, and then you analyze it, you study it, then you bring out. Now, it's different from observational study. Observational study, that one is just observational study is mostly a primary, because you are going to. And you also ask whether can a student go ahead and publish. Very well. So long as he's competent, there's no place here it is said that if you are a student, you cannot publish it. Once you have a good research to publish, fine, you can go ahead to publish. But what we keep saying is always better hurry to go in. It's just like somebody finishing medical school, want to pass that in private clinic, tell you wait. It goes beyond just knowing, having the knowledge. Their experience, very important. There's a language in science. I have been battling with that. Clinicians there, but because the way people talk is the way. In science, my friend Dr. Chooks will tell you that when you're humble in writing, people will tell you best procedure or the best investigation for maybe stroke. We don't use those words best. It's the most important. We don't use those terms. We are humble in science, in scientific community. You can say one of the best ways, okay? Or you can say the commonest. No, you say one of the important. That you are humble. When you have something, you don't say as if you are the only one seeing it. If you see someone to carry out a work with, don't look at it. That is how it must be. No, be humble. If you find out now that cigarette smoking is associated with old age in Sokoto, don't say it's associated. It may be associated. We are humble in science. So all these things come with experience. People who don't eat that, who have not gone into it, they don't know what. Students can write very well. It is always better. Pair up with very experienced writers, and you now see how writing goes. What was the last question? What was the last question?
The last question was about how to access medical research, website to access
Yes,
medical research.
okay. There are many of them. Some of them, sometimes, but those ones are very common. It's just like go into PubMed, you understand, Science Direct, you go into those information. But often, many of these papers, if you want to get the information, you have to pay some fee. Okay? There are ways people also get crash and get into information, like how do you call it, Science Hub, Sci-Hub. There are many other I can tell you. Even there are people that get them. There are many other ones. Although they have people, it crash and get those information. The PubMed is very good. Google Scholar is very good. Science Direct. Go into these ones, most information you want. And sometimes you don't even need any. You have a topic in mind, you have any idea in mind, just type it to come up. Then you now look at where is this. Okay? So it's very important that good internet source is very important. Then if you are not careful too, it's also good when you looking for work. The first page that will appear is usually better because it gives you more latest information. You only go to frequent pages. Usually We want citations that are within the last 10 years. Rather than go and citing this in 1973, 1980 something. Those are a lot of coverage findings are taking precedence over those. So if you look at journals like Science, or what they call the Nature, Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, these are papers that are published very frequently. If you are talking now, if there's an idea, they are talking about a particular idea, for instance, say for instance, in central blood pressure, you are talking about backward wave, or you are talking about reflection magnitude, or you are talking about time to return of forward wave. If you are talking like somebody who's talking in 2023, what they know they have gone past, really they send you a paper to review and they know this person is still living in the last 10 years. Because knowledge has moved. Every day new knowledge is going on. So if you are talking like somebody who's talking in the last 20 years, they know, and they will tell you, no, there are better information about this one. It's always better to get newer information than going to go. However, there's what we call OD but goodie. Something can be old, but it's still good. In that situation, there are some information, like if you are looking at, like I'm going to keep talking about cardiology, like the Winchester phenomenon. When you're looking at the Winchester phenomenon, it's something that was discovered in the 18th something. When people keep talk about it, keep telling people information that we have discovered some over 150 years ago, which people didn't notice. So, and that's what I will tell you about going to papers. But generally, the most popular ones are the ones who follow on trust PubMed, they are very, and there are different other ones. And always try to get citation that are within the last 10 years. Not very.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, yeah.
So that's one, sir. Sir, people are asking about this slide.
Okay, yeah, I can send that so that.
All right. Yes, sir. And before we let you go, sir, like we would like a general advice from you for us medical students interested in medical student, early career doctor.
Yeah, very good. That's very important. Yeah, you know, many of us traditionally, I am sure, except the new generation doctors, usually what doctors can depends on circumstances. Generally, our belief makes doctors want to graduate for you in a marriage residency program, a consultant, and we believe we are everything. Okay, that's not. It's good be a fellow to be a specialist in the area of your. However, I have told one very senior consultant of said that when you become a doctor and you take residency program 7, 8 years, fine, that's a beautiful idea. You be patient appreciate you. You are still patient and there. Now, one day that patient will die. You can't keep patient forever. Patient will die. Who is going to appreciate you? And even the patient didn't die, one thing you are also going to die one day. So are we together? You are also going to die one day. Now you die, the patient dies. So what happened to you? Everything has finished. The doctors that live 40 years in Sokoto, for instance, we don't know them. The patient that lived 50 years ago, we don't know them. And so we that were practicing, that will come, they don't know. The only way you are remembered, we are talking about the boys, yes, Avogadros. These people have died over 100 years. But we didn't forget them because they have their work in print, in papers. So if you see patient heart failure, they get well one day, whether they have heart failure or not, they will die. Then you too, at the patient doctor, you will die. So what happened? Everything about it disappeared. But when you work, you do research, and it's going to remain forever and ever, even in the next 200 years. And that is one. The second thing is that people, Dr. Chuk said that people don't know. Most of the references we take are the ones we get from us. That's our own references. They are not the same. There are many studies that show that differences exist in our values with people of other races, people of other cultures, people of other environments. Because our foods are different, our systems are different, and even the genes are different. So we need value to ourselves. But who is going to hear all that? We are not doing research. We only read Kumar. We are going to leave Davidson. These books are not produced yet. They are giving us our value, their values. And that's what we are using our patient, rightly or wrongly. And we are not able to tell us. So we can only do standard result, and tell the world. Some of us that started with MSc, PhD, I was in Johannesburg last year to present at the Southern Africa Hypertension Society. I was in Namibia. Next month, I'm going to Egypt talk on cardiovascular diseases in West Africa. So we have to want everything. Now, you can't do this thing until you are research. If you see you go to your clinic, see your patient, give them your furosemide, spironolactone, give them your captopril, they go home. Tomorrow you do ward run and then renew. That's what you'll be doing. One day the patient will die, one day you die, and everything. But by the time you do research, you go and discover your result. In Sokoto, this is what we are seeing. In Abeokuta, this is what we see. In Sokoto place, this is what we are seeing. And people will come in and collaborate with you, and we will be known. And then it will call for adjustment. When they are pulling data, you will bring your own data to along. Because the WHO standard or the references they are setting, they pull data from every region of the world. So if we are also presenting our research work, they will also pull and it will participate in the final decision that will be taken. So research, we shouldn't end our medicine into residency. Let's go ahead and have PhD. Let's go and have a master's. Let's go and do it. When you do master's or PhD, whether you do it or not, do this. Standard research. And to do standard research, you must learn it. You cannot sit in your room and lock yourself and learn it. We have gone through so many places in Nigeria, Canada, in South Africa, in part of Germany to be able to get these ideas. Of course, you have to learn it. It's not something that you wake up and start doing. Okay.
Thank you very much for the golden advisor. So we'll be rounding up now. So with that, we'll just like to call on Dr. Chooks to also give us just a general advice for medical students interested in research. Yes, are you with?
Thank you very much. Yeah, first speaker has said most of the things. When we are coming up, our dream was just becoming consultants, which we pursued with our life. We got it. Then the question became, what next? It's good for us to study the trend, but let's also know that if we plan to japa, let's have a japada plan to affect our people at home. You can pick up volunteering lecturing. Everything is online now, just to mentor some medical students. If you ask anybody, nobody's going to discourage you from seeking greener pastures. But as you put on your torchlight to seek, have a plan to give back to the community. That's why I said issue of brain drain can be positive or negative or both. So let's have plan to give back to our community. Let's go to research. Let's try. Let's learn to write. Let's read wide. Get interested. Volunteer. For medical students that are here, make sure that your final year research work is published. Take it from this program that in my 500 level, I'm making up my mind. So I'm not going to cook up data. I'm going to go through the stress of the research process. I'm going to learn it. You were asking about systematic review. I've been in Nigeria, did so many studies and everything. I've never done a systematic review. When I came to the UK, I insisted that I was going to do a systematic review for my master's. I missed a lot of challenges. Got it done. But from the beginning of getting it done, starting, I've made up my mind that systematic review must be published. And to God be the glory, before the end of last year, December 14th, that study was published. It's online. If you click my name on any Google search and you put MPOS and you put systematic review, you see that it was published in the British Infectious Association Journal, which is one of the highest journals in the UK. Why? From the beginning, I made up my mind that that paper will be published, and it was. We also published, when I was assisting or lecturing in Nigeria, we publish student work, good, sound final year research. We got it published. We printed it in for those we supervise. So when a lecturer is trying to draw you close while you are doing your project, don't take it as being mean or the guy is after you or you get worried. It's because it's look you see is beneficial for both of you. If he publish, it's good for him. Your name is there, and you start from there. So all medical students on this platform take home. My final year work must be published. If you're doing residency, it's not enough for you to just become a consultant. Your final residency research should be published. You're doing a master's, you can get 1 or 2 papers out of it. Doing a PhD, of course, you're going to get 3 papers out of it. That's my candid advice for every medical student. Understand the trend and follow the trend. Get online presence within the scientific community. If you don't have those accounts I listed, go and open it, especially LinkedIn. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think there was one question for you that I missed earlier. So if you just take that quickly, just quickly, sir. Like how can you just to elaborate on publishing one's experience? How can you publish your own experience? I don't get it.
Yeah, for those that are good writers, right?
Yeah.
It could be, you see, it depends on what you're writing about.
Okay.
And also it now depends on the journal you send it to. Scientific journals receive scientific journals, articles. There are also social sciences. For example, if you're working on community entering, community reactions to research, you might be assisting a research body to collect data. And the research process that has to do with community entering, even your community entering in your final year work, community entry, community diagnosis, and all those stuff, you can write on the processes and send to maybe social science journal, depending on the perspective you are looking at it, or a scientific journal. So your work, where you publish your work will depend on the type of journal and what you are reporting. For example, stigmatization. Have you ever been sick and you were stigmatized? That is the in thing now, because every new disease, the first reaction to it is stigmatization. So we're talking about mpox stigmatization, we're talking about Lassa fever stigmatization, we're talking about COVID-19 stigmatization. When Ebola came, we're talking about the stigmatization. Watch out, the new China virus, now I don't know what it is. So, and let me give you this expo for those that write. Once there is a new disease and people don't know much about it, just like our third speaker said, that he did so much work and got his recognition during COVID-19. Just go on Google, search for this new disease, write whatever you can write and send, because it is not known yet. The rush to accept it is there. You call it a review. Then when it comes to Africa, you do the African review. And it's all over. Because they don't have something to reference, even if it's definition, they begin to reference you from the beginning. So your experience when it comes to, you can even, my experience in year 5, medical student posting, what others says about it, qualitative study. People are talking about their experience. You want to compare it to another medical school? You know, most times our interest is let us pass first, which is okay. But when you know what you're pursuing, you begin to give time to it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, sir, for that response, sir. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to the speakers for joining us today. We're about to round up. I'll just call on Peace of Quality to give us a closing remark when we are gone. Peace, are you with us? Hello, Peace. Oh, so I think we just.
Hello, good evening. I hope I can be heard.
Good evening. You can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Aya. Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great evening and you enjoyed the webinar. I know I did. Say a very big thank you to the speakers for the wonderful education on medical research. It was very, very informative. Thank our moderator, Mr. Yaya, for a wonderful job well done. Thank our organizers as well, the IMGN ESCO's president. Thank you for your commitment and hard work. And I remember I said,
Okolie, please, are you still with us? Seems like she has service issue. But anyways, like thank you everyone. Like it's been a lovely evening. Like I really had a great time. So we might just have to call it a day now. So have a lovely week ahead. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the speakers and everyone that organized it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for this month. Thank you.
hello.